All right, guys. Hello, my name is Kevin. I'm from Psylaris, and we develop autonomous treatments for mental health care disorders. And with that, our goal is to make mental health care more scalable and accessible for everyone. We have more than 20,000 clients who have used it in the past for the last 5 years, and more than 5,000 therapists are using it worldwide. Before I dive deep into our flagship, which is EMDR Autonomous, I'm going to tell a very important story. On November 26, 2017, my life changed drastically. I've been in a very traumatic event and had a PTSD afterwards. And I've been also a victim of the waiting list. It took me 4.5 months before I could go to the psychologist. And luckily, when I was at the psychologist, my therapist asked me, Kevin, I want to test something new with you, which is a VR headset with an autonomous EMDR treatment in there, so you can boost up your own therapy sessions, because the rest didn't work. So, I want to tell you about the problem, not my problem, but the problem that I was facing just as the other guys had. So demand for psychotherapy overwhelms supply, resulting in late and inadequate treatment, which means there are 3 main topics which is a problem. We have a shortage of therapists, we have a long waiting time, and also the costs are very high, especially 600 million euros in EU in 2018. And our solution is we want to support therapists with scalable, digital, and anonymous, but also autonomous sessions, which means they can do it by themselves with guided voices instead of doing it together with the therapist. Clients say they like it because they can do it whenever and wherever they want it, and they give them control and empowerment. And also therapists say it's ridiculously good. Over the 5,000 sessions we did, the results were amazing, and nevertheless they said their job became even more fun. And this is how it works. Usually you go to a therapist and you have like 5 sessions face to face, and in between you don't have any homework. Through the usage of our VR headset with the autonomous treatments, you will have 30% less face to face sessions, and you have more therapy sessions executed in a short amount of time, which also means the quality of life will be increased earlier. What are the results? So as I mentioned, 30% less treatment time, and also a decrease in the anxiety with 5 points per session. A regular human, so a therapist, has 5.7 points per session, which is based on 0 to 10 skills, so it doesn't matter. And nevertheless, we have a positive business case, and it's very unique in our sector. So which means there are better results, and we can increase of treating 24 more clients per therapist per year, which is a lot. And there's a higher revenue for the mental health care providers, cheaper care for the insurance providers, and shorter waiting times. So, dear jury, please do not vote for Psylaris. If you don't want to shorten the waiting list, and if you don't think they are there, believe that there are enough therapists to treat all mental health disorders which are all around the world. And mental health is accessible and affordable for everyone, which is not. And nevertheless, you think this is not the right solution to solve the SG rule. Thank you.
Cool project, huh? So what are the regulatory requirements in Netherlands, and how do you expect to expand that? Is it EU-wide, or what's the regulatory expansion?
So currently we're active in the Netherlands, Germany, and Belgium. We're now expanding to the UK and to the Nordics. Yeah. The hardest thing is how does the whole, like the health system works, so especially the financial part. Because now therapists get paid for every face-to-face session they have done. And unfortunately, you don't get money for an autonomous session, which leads usually in less revenue. Luckily, you can treat more clients at the same time, so that's beneficial. But it's tough to get to know all the healthcare systems, but especially the business case, that's what Psylaris has in that way, to be honest.
Thanks for your presentation. I was wondering, are you cooperating with public insurances, or is this all privately covered?
Yeah, so we are backed by the 4 biggest healthcare insurance companies in the Netherlands. And we're also now working on the DIGA, which is a sort of fast track in Germany. I think it's important to first contact with them, because they are paying for the care, of course. But also we are also in direct contact with the psychologists themselves, with the mental health providers. So it's like a 2-way track.
I had some EMDR live sessions in my life,
okay.
And like with the fingers and so, yeah. Is this what I can imagine using Psylaris,
exactly.
yeah? It's like I have a video with a person asking me questions in between the sessions?
Yeah, so it's interactive. So you have a spoken voice who's guiding you through the EMDR protocol. Usually there's a human, so a psychologist, who costs a lot of money every hour, guiding you through the whole session.
Yeah.
So he or she is like guiding you through a protocol, which is literally written down on a paper, and then they're like moving their fingers, right?
Yeah.
What we have in the headset is like a spoken voice of Eva, and Eva is actually walking through the game, the same protocol as you have experienced.
Yeah.
But because it's not like an audiobook, it's like an interactive protocol. So you can make like multiple choice decisions. But every decision you make, Eva knows how to reply on that. And by that you think like, oh wow, she's listening to me, she's experiencing what I'm thinking. But actually she's pretty dumb because she knows if I click on that, then I have to reply with that. But the client really likes that, and that's what the biggest benefit is of doing in an autonomous situation. And last but not least, the brighter therapist principle, especially with sexual trauma, is very, very strong.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to share it out loud, you're still thinking of it, and because you don't have to share it out loud, you're more opening to the trauma. Okay, so the thing is, because they can treat 24 clients more per year, so patients, that's when they can make more money, because usually an intake is more worth than a regular face-to-face sessions. And they can treat more clients at the same time. So because the client maybe has at home as homework, so it can be distributed like face-to-face, that I can give it to you as a psychologist, but it can also ship it to you via a mailman, and I have like online contact with you via the webcam. So because you can treat more clients at the same time, and usually intakes are more worth than a face-to-face session, that's what I can do as a psychologist.
So they can pay they are doing the sessions at home, and the patients are at home, and the psychotherapist is not their own practice.
In the Netherlands, yes. So in the Netherlands you get paid now, so the healthcare system is giving me money when the client brings us at home, because our clients said, listen, it's impossible. We are investing in something which costs money, and actually my revenue is going down. And at the end, of course, the clients happy because they got, they got better, they got recovered, but the mental health care provider has less revenue, and the insurance company has a better outcome. So they have like cheaper care. So in that way, they ask the mental health care providers, ask the insurance companies, can you give us a sort of extra charge, an extra fee, to make sure we don't lose our revenue.
Okay, we get some more questions.
So thank you so much for presentation. So what we know that within a mental health space, showing and representing empathy is so important. And we know that digital solutions, as you mentioned, are dumb and they're not able of showing that. At what stage you're identifying that empathy is not there and you're referring that to the actual psychologist? Is your solution would be able to identify that?
No, because Eva doesn't have a soul. She's not feeling. She isn't empathetic, and you're not gonna use this like from the beginning. You always have like the intake sessions, and you also have like the psych education. Why are we using EMDR, and what's gonna happen after a trauma therapy session? What could happen? And if the client's more experienced with doing the trauma therapy, then they will do it by themselves. But we have some triggers. For example, if the client gives the same answers, like the scores, for example, then Eva knows, okay, something's going wrong here, I have to do this, because it's all protocolized, and Eva does the same thing as a human does.
So Eva can have a soul.
Excuse me?
So Eva can build a soul.
She can be what?
As build a soul.
I wouldn't like to go there.
Okay, now our last question.
Right. Then I understood it wrong. I thought your goal, one of your big goals, is to have more psychotherapy for more people. But when you now have the channel, the psychotherapist going in and then using the VR, that's not what you do.
Well, we can't replace the therapist.
Yeah, no, not replace, but make psychotherapy more normal and just, it's not so special and not so crazy.
Well, I don't agree with that. So the therapist is mainly needed because they have to make sure is EMDR or any other autonomous treatments we have, is it the right client to use it with? It's not like the golden egg or the, what do you call it, the box to treat everyone. It's like a solution to treat a short. Yeah, it's an addition to. So it's an addition to the therapist and not like a regulation for the therapist.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.